Welcome back. We are here for Hearts of Camelot, Once and Forever, Episode 5. Just as a quick review, I believe, unless everybody has, a different remembrance of what happened, or want to point out something notable for themselves, I believe that now Ydelles is the Autumn Knight connected with the Green Knight's castle manor, and Sir Granit is going to be negotiating, um, working with the gnomes for this manor to be free. And Sir Elio has gone off to see about the unicorn that has fought the Golden Heart that Ydelles was trying to seek. And we'll see what that adventure entails. Does anybody want to include anything else that they remember from last time?
That was very good, Mads. Thank you.
There was a lot more shenanigans from last time, but that's about as succinct as I remember.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, if anybody needs to, oh, that was the other thing. If anybody needs to take a see at their dilemmas, please do. And if you need to change them, this would be the time to do so before we truly get entrenched. All right. So again, check your dilemmas, see if there's anything that you want to hit um, for this particular session, or again, change them around, whatever. That is fine. And then we will commence. So I think one of the wishes from last time was that since Ydelles is now tied to the manor house and trying to protect the lands and has essentially let Sir Elio know, hey, by the way, the unicorn that you seek is here, wandering the land. Perhaps like Ydelles is now tied a little bit too much and has to take care of whatever's going on at the manor. And then is Sir Granit going to remain at the manor house to help him interact with the gnomes that are
Yep.
okay. All right. We'll engage that in some way. But definitely, Sir Elio, you have ridden your horse into the forest, and you have a companion, the parrot from the manor house. Um, what are you thinking as you're riding out to do this?
Oh boy. I guess, just imagine like if someone you love that you haven't seen in forever, you're having a reunion, but maybe a million times, that feeling. Um, so yeah, just a whole lot of mix of emotions, fear that for whatever reason things don't work out. Um, but so, an excitement that something's finally going to happen that you've been dreaming about for a very long time.
What is Sir Elio truly fear? Finding the unicorn or not?
Finding, yeah, finding the unicorn and being rejected. Yeah.
Okay.
I had someone ringing the doorbell at my house.
Okay, I'll switch
I'm
over.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Love it. Okay, so let's switch back to the manor house and yeah, where do we find you to? I'm trying to remember whether Sir Granite was outside and collecting rocks for the cairns, or if he had managed to come back in time to see, Ydelles and his transformation.
I believe we had rolled big magic and it worked with consequence.
Mm.
No, that's mathematically impossible. Hang on. Or not. I
Oh
think
no
I
no
rolled a
because no Ydelles had a 9, and that's the misfortune
no,
was
that
him.
was we did the battle roll and
Mhm.
then after that I recall working through what the big magic was and I
Yes.
think we even rolled and I think I ended up rolling a 4 plus 5 if I recall correctly.
Okay, now you're gonna make me go back through my notes because I usually like write down like what the
It
rolls are.
matters. In this specific case it matters.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see back in my notes what I wrote. Oh wait, that's the wrong episode. All my games share the same book of notes, so it's fun. No, you rolled a 16.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, because I think the last misfortune had actually befallen Ydelles, and then that's where he got tied further into the manor house and had that transformation of the gnarled branches and strange veins, running through his body and up to his face, especially when he sat on the throne-like chair, and connected with the land, the forest and the land. And the autumn night may be coming into his own. Who knows? But I'm trying to remember. Did you come back inside to be able to do this? I think
I
so.
believe so.
Yeah, because like you were arguing with your gnome friend about like they're wanting to get payment in the weight of Ydelles, and you were like, like stand down, rock boy, or whatever. If I remember correctly. How are you feeling about Ydelles making this strange sacrifice?
I don't like it.
Do you tell him so?
Almost certainly, but he hasn't asked. It's been sort of a whirlwind situation.
Well, let's take you from, I believe, from the vision of all of the cairns being set up and you working your magic to be able to secure this place as a what is it, a connection point to try to 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 make it right again. I think is how you put it, because it didn't feel right with like whatever was happening with the gnome of the manor. Let's say that you've come in and now you have the opportunity to take the new lord of this manor to task. My question to you is, do you do so?
Not yet.
What are you doing as this is happening? You've seen Sir Elio ride away, and Sir Granit is there and has created these markers, I guess, on your property, on your land now, and you can feel him do it. I'm gonna that connection that allowed you to see, to envision the unicorn, also allows you to feel the grinding of the earth and the weight of the rocks, as if the land around you now is like your skin. How are you feeling? What do you do?
I think Adele is pondering the history of this whole thing. I think he's wondering if he could look back all the way to the beginning through the roots of time and nature and all the seasons and however many hosts have been here. And I think he's also thinking about the future. So I think if this was like a movie, we'd have like a split screen where he'd be sitting on the throne and they'd like cut down and see one side going backwards and one side going forwards in this sort of trippy vision. And the side going forward, I think what he's imagining anyways, is that working with the gnomes and perhaps other creatures, other spirits, might enable him to move his space. I think there's a moment where the cairns or stones turn into wheels, and we see some of his property lift up onto wheels and roll away, right? Kind of like a Howl's Moving Manor House type thing. And like the vegetation, the animals change depending where he goes, so that it fits the ecology. And I think he's wondering if he could actually move his homestead, as it were, next to the meteorite, because right now they're very far away, and I think he'd be happy to be neighbors with Aurora.
I mean, all that had happened, all the discussion with the Green Knight and then turning into the Autumn Knight had happened within the space of a morning. So it's like, your day's not done yet. You can't quite reach your love until at least nighttime, for sure. And you'll have an interesting communing with her, I will say. Um, we can fast forward to that scene at any point, but let's take a look at the others for half a mo. And so while he's pondering this, Sir Granite, and then seeing in his mind's eye of like what could be possible, what are you thinking about um, as you're finishing up the cairn markers?
I'm thinking of all the other little things I would have to do to get this autumnal knight to set down his crown and his cloak. Giving the stones unto the gnomes is part of it. But this whole place is built on the backs of people that clearly can't sustain it. And I aim to redress that. I think I'm the only one who can.
If that is the case, then where does Sir Granite find you, Ydelles? Are you in the great room on the throne-like chair, or are you in one of the other rooms that now belong to you?
I think he's still on the chair,
Mm.
because he has so much to contemplate, so much to understand. I mean, he's probably not aware of what we would consider time passing right in this moment, because he's somewhere else. But I think he's just there. I think, like, when he breathes in and out, it's with the same sort of like movement, or like trees and wind nearby.
Maybe that's what you hear if you go into the great room and see your friend sitting there, changed. Maybe you hear the whistle of wind through the trees. Maybe you hear branches um, waving in the wind. What do you do, Sir Granite?
Does Lord Ydelles, Knight of Autumn, notice me or acknowledge me in any way when I come in?
So I think similar to when it was mentioned that Ydelles or the Autumn Knight can feel the power of the gnomes, I think he stirs because of feeling the power of you. And so I think if we were to see this through Ydelles' eyes, as he is now, um, it would be like recognition of something supernatural moving over there versus a human form.
Hmm. But does he
And maybe,
react at all?
what was that?
Does he react at all? Or does he remain sort of still
Oh,
and seated?
I think he stirs, and there's this sort of like return to human expression on his face, and he gives you this lopsided grin. And he says, "Sir Granit of Geddrick, I finally see you as who you are."
Sight beyond is not true sight. But you'll learn that in time, I suppose. If I can't stop you.
What vexes you, Sir Granit?
What do you see when you look at me?
I see a being of power,
Ah,
connected to other forces.
And that's it?
Well, I think he stirs and like separates from the vines in the chair and stands upright. And probably when he does this, sounds like branches bending. And then he sort of like, cracks his neck and then starts moving more like a person. And he says, "And now I see a comrade in arms, willing to fight for what he believes in."
I need to ask you for a roll, Sir Granite, because I feel like
Please do.
this is an exert heart, because this is one of your dilemmas.
Oh, it sure is, isn't it?
Yeah. You need to check that off, and then let's look at the exert heart move. When you make a move related to one of your dilemmas, you check the box next to that dilemma to add +1 to a related roll. So, is there anything that you want to do here? Do you want to prevail upon? Excuse me. Do you want to prevail upon Ydelles, or gain insight or something? Because then you can use a +1 towards it.
Um,
Or endure heartbreak. The two.
I think I will queue up. I think I will roll to prevail upon,
Okay.
and then that will queue when I almost inevitably fail. I will, or when it doesn't go the way I expect, I'm queuing up a endure heartbreak.
Okay. Well, you can do the +1 towards the prevail upon at the moment. So roll
Okay.
courteous, please. What are you trying to charm or intimidate now?
I'm pleading with him to leave this place. You may feel large, you may feel powerful, you may feel more and more alive than you have ever felt, but I promise you, all of this will fade. Return to your
Would you?
quest. That glory will remain eternal. Not like this stagnant pool that you have rooted yourself in.
Let's see if your words have any effect. Roll courteous, please, +1. 2d6.
It's a 7 + 1. 7 + 1 for an 8.
And that's with the +1 as well from Exert Heart?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have
8.
a 0 in courteous.
Okay. All right. So misfortune will follow. However, you have a mixed success. So you do what you want, but you will receive misfortune. In talking with Ydelles, what do you think has gone a little awry? And Ydelles, if you have any ideas of how it's gone a little awry, this is a great time to tell us.
Well, here's, if you don't mind, like, I think I want Idel to respond, and then
Please
we
do.
can figure out how that shapes it. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think Idel nods, listens, and he responds. His voice sounding more like it used to. As we saw just recently, this, whatever this is, does not last forever. Nothing does. And since my union in this role, I've realized how small I really am in the greater wonder that is outside of my existence. I don't know if there is any other path for me but this. If there's any means to help you, Sir Elio, and others within my power, I will do so. Just a moment ago, I was dreaming of being able to move and be near those I care about. So if it's a matter of desire, if it's a matter of courage, that still lives within me. Just a matter of you and your cunning and Sir Ilio and his wisdom figuring out a way to do so. For those are two qualities I have always lacked, but counted on in my companions.
If you'll forgive my terseness, it is a bit late to be dreaming of the road now. You don't understand what you've done to yourself. I barely understand what you've done. Of course, I will work tirelessly so that we can all continue our quest together. But you're a damn fool to cavort with these powers. And I ask you, why? What could have compelled you to do this?
It seemed the right thing to do according to my knightly upbringing.
We'll discuss that another time. As it is, the gnomes are waiting.
Do you think you're, Sir Granit? Do you think you're enduring heartbreak at the moment?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, what are you gonna do if you lose control?
I don't know.
I
Tear
mean,
this whole goddamn place down?
well, I mean, sorry.
Leave and never return?
Oh my. Yeah. Well, you
Drown,
could.
drown drown one or both of us in this eternal spring?
Oh my.
Who knows?
Well, those are
I have
very
already lost a
melodramatic.
friend, and I am in mourning
Oh my
as
god.
I am trying to also to claw my way back to life. It is a divided feeling that has really ripped to the core of me, I think, because I see so much of myself in what has occurred with Ydelles.
Oh man. I mean, this move doesn't even cover half of what you're just saying. I'm just like, goddamn. Oh. Oh. But anyway, keep going. All right. So that's what you're
What
gonna
do I
do.
roll?
You
How does
okay?
this work?
Okay. So you're
First of all,
going.
I mark XP.
Yeah. And then hold on. And then you need to roll 2d6 plus your unfulfilled destiny. So
That's
look at your
5.
destiny track and then just add all the unmarked boxes. So
I'll never have a destiny. Fate can't kill me.
don't roll
I'm
badly.
different. Better. Perhaps even better than the gods. That is a 7 plus 5 for a 12.
Nice. Okay. So for that is come on. Just had it. Okay. Endure heartbreak. Okay. Unfulfilled destiny. On a success, you don't lose control, and you take +1 forward. So on your next roll, you will get a +1 because you are being stoic in the face of this emotional turmoil. God dang it! This tests your heart for sure. Okay. Let me go over to Sir Elio as you're both like seething in your own ways at each other. I guess.
Oh,
Yes.
do we ever address
Oh, the
the
misfortune for
thing?
you.
Uh, well, I don't know that it was for me. Um, but here's given the heartbreak situation. Here's just a thought. Maybe it's just color,
Okay.
but maybe what we see is that um, we see um, that over near the chair. Like maybe we just didn't notice it before. But when Adele got up from the chair, there was a piece, it looked like leaves and so forth, and
Hmm.
some bark. But now what it's revealed is that his knightly armor and like what we recognize as Adele's clothing is nicely tucked together in a bundle, as if it's like ready to be shipped off somewhere. Just to add a little bit more heartache to the situation.
God, this killed me. Oh. Uh, actually, I have a question for you, Adele, before we head over to Cerulio. The Green Knight had an axe. Do you also have that axe now, or has it changed into something different?
I think given the picture over my shoulder, what kind of weapon would Ydell normally have? Like if this was a movie, I think he'd have like some big ass sword.
Hmm.
Warhammer.
Oh,
Warhammer? Do you want to do that?
yeah. I mean, you
All
tell me
right.
what this looks like.
I think a Warhammer. I think there is there's like a spike. It probably looks like a thorn on the top, and like on the back is probably something that is a blade, like a small. But there's this giant sort of boulder-like metal hammer part on the front. Two-handed warhammer.
Oh, so it is like shaped. It is like a mallet on one side and a spike on the other that rips.
Yeah, spike on top, a blade on the back, and then the hammer part on the one front.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm sure there's a French name for it, but I don't remember.
I didn't. If you find it fan fiddly tastic, then that's what you got. And the handle is just like your transformation, gnarled and solid.
Yeah.
Solid for grip. Sir Elio, as this wonderful exchange is going on, you are riding out into the woods. I think the horse has found its legs and is starting to slow down because it doesn't want to go too fast in this uncertain territory, because it's starting to turn into where it was like forest with some rolling hills. Now it's starting to get deeper into the forest, just like what's behind you. And yeah, I mean, it's getting foggy. I mean, you were up, you were all up early, and this has taken a bit of the morning, but like for whatever reason, I mean, in this forest, it's almost like it's holding on to all of the humidity. It's holding on to just the damp and the closeness of the atmosphere. And you see the light filtering in through the deep canopy, but there's also like fog that kind of drifts along the ground, parts only at the horse's steps. And the parrot is with you, balancing as it will. Maybe occasionally nibbling at your ear, but hasn't said anything since you left. And it said that, adventure, you know.
Where is I'll ask the parrot. Where is it? You sensed it before.
Sorry, I'm going to make you roll because it's fun.
Okay.
Because you let it out of its cage. So really, it doesn't have to hang, but for whatever reason, it's still hanging with you. So do you want to prevail upon?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what courteous.
Yep.
All right. And I want to use my move to get +1.
Okay.
Um, 5.
Well, add some XP there, boy.
I level up.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right.
Let's just for funsies, let me take a look at the level up first. Okay. So when you level up, immediately clear all the boxes, increase your level by 1, and choose an option from the below list. You don't have to pick it directly now if you have no idea what you want to do, but just know that again, you've cleared your boxes, you've increased your level by 1, and you are going to mark one of those options as you will. Okay.
I do
Yeah.
know what I want, but I don't
Okay.
know that I can do it now. There's
What is it?
there's the move that says a gringolet.
Let me see.
I don't know how you pronounce it. You possess some remarkable steed. When mounted on your steed, you gain agile +2 to evade and make haste.
Actually, this is perfect. This is a perfect place for it to happen.
Right.
So yes, you may mark it, because I think before the parrot can answer, well, I mean, like, because the move will go off, and then like I'll give you some really bad shit to happen. The move goes off, and the parrot was going to answer, but then you feel some sort of thrumming underneath you, and you realize that the fog has tendrilled its way up and around the horse's hocks and around its body, and is now surrounded by this fog, and the thrumming that you feel is this change to the steed. And before you can even think to jump off or change anything, you realize it is no longer just a regular horse. And you hear this voice inside your head that says, I live to serve. I will help you avoid danger and speed your way to freedom as needed. But only when you ride me. And the horse's head will kind of turn as if it's trying to make itself more heard, but you hear it right in your head. You don't need any further translations or anything.
Um,
And after this happens and you hear the voice in your head, I'm going to say that out of the shadows, or the fog that has gone around the horse, you see, starting to surround you in the fog is figures, like shadows that are here in this particular place of the forest. And I'm going to go back to the others. Leave you stewing in there for a bit. Okay, so what do you two do now as you're doing a stare down? Stare off, I don't know.
Um,
And I
what?
do owe one of you a misfortune, or I could just do it a general sense.
Okay. Well, I haven't made a roll yet today, but I'd be happy to take on misfortune.
I think that. Give me a second. Oh, I
Please,
think.
it's mine, if anyone's.
Yeah, I think it was the prevail upon. So you were describing this. I mean, I want to say that this is something that you affect him with, He's trying to reach out to you. He's trying to convince you this is a bad idea. You need to come home. You need to go home with them. You need to free yourself from this place. But what prevents you? What prevents you from? I mean, you talk the noble talk. You have the knightly ways, but there's something there that keeps you beholden to this place, or that you either a secret revealed or a secret kept that you are throwing back into Granite's face. What is that? I think that's a fitting misfortune to happen to
Sure.
Granite. You're throwing something back at him.
I think what happens is, I think that from the walls and the ceiling and the floor, for a short minute, a moment, the faces of or maybe not all of them, but some of the more recent hosts who used to be knights appear, and I think they yell at Sir Granit. I think they want him to leave. This is not his domain. Does that make sense? There's a piece of whoever becomes the knight that stays behind.
I mean, I know in the between I'd slap you with a condition, Granite, but I mean, how are you feeling about this?
I know. You don't have to tell. This is what I've been trying to tell you. You're too deep in it to notice. And that hurts.
I pledge to remove this curse one way or another. Now, I am but one person, and I have a quest in front of me that I wish to see it through. I would be happy to see through the end of this one as well.
Hold tight to that want. It will be the first to leave you. And then he will leave.
Leave the room or leave the manor? Where are you going?
I'm going out onto the grounds to the center of the various standing stones to prepare for gnome negotiation.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm gonna introduce, like, the very grand misfortune that's befallen Elio before we get to break. Okay, so Sir Elio, back to you. Yes, you see these shadowy figures, like, spring up in the fog as excuse me, as your steed has changed into this magnificent beast. And you hear the voice again in your head. They know I have connected with you, and now they want to take me away. I won't let them. It is up to you, though, to stay on my back. And I'm going to say that the horse will do its best to help get you away. However, I'm going to say that the misfortune is you are unable to stick onto its back because it's not your familiar steed and you're not used to how it does what it does. So I'm going to say that you lose grip, or, like your seat, and you fall to the ground as it does its thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's your your great misfortune. It will help you, but you have to be mounted first. So yeah, you fall to the ground in the middle of this clearing. Your steed is nowhere to be seen. The parrot has kind of flown off of your shoulder and is just kind of like flapping there. And we'll go to a nearby tree.
I draw my sword.
Okay. All right. And with that, we're just going to go ahead and take a break. 5 minutes, okay? And then we're just going to come back and then see what happens to Elio. So, 5 minutes. See you then. Okay. So I'm going to borrow a little from other places. Sir Elio, you're being surrounded by these figures that have stepped out of the fog into your eye line. And your horse looks like somehow it has transported its way far away, deep in the fog. You can see its bulk, like outlined, and like you hear its voice distantly, as if it's like, in your head, but coming from far away. You hear, "I thought you were a better rider than this." And yes, there's when these figures step out from behind or from out of the fog, they are clad all in grays, but with the cut of leaves to their armor and their clothing. And then They seem to be wearing masks of natural materials, whether it be of leaves or woven branches or even like some kind of crudely formed clay with some shape. But the one who seems to be a little taller than the rest will step out in front of you, out of sword range, and laugh. This is what the steed has chosen to be its rider. Can't even keep its seat. You humans. You're not worthy to ride the Gringolet. And you will see them step back into the fog. So now they're silhouettes, but then you hear the shing of metal as it's being taken out of scabbards. Or if not metal, then some kind of metallic sound.
I I would ask you who you are, but I do not care. All I care for is that you would think to get in my way while I pursue my beloved. I care not for your number or your intent, but know that if you cross me, you needn't worry about my steed anymore.
All right. So, in this case, since they have drawn their weapons, I'm going to say, let's see. You can. Ooh, agile moves. Those are good. You can, just as a general move, evade danger. Because they haven't, like, tilted with you yet, like in full melee or whatever. So, like, I'm going to say make the evade danger move first, and see how you do. Yeah, so
Okay.
2d6 plus agile. And did you have a. I thought I wrote it down and it didn't. Did you have a +1 on your. On one from one of your moves? Because you are questing, so I mean, like, I want to say that has something to do with it. You can apply that.
Oh, I think that actually works against me because this is not to do with the golden stag,
Oh,
the
shit.
golden heart.
Oh, no.
All right.
Shit. Oh, no.
Um, all right. Let's see. So there's going to be a straight roll. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can do.
Sure.
Um, I'm gonna mark my my dilemma
Okay.
um in relationship to my quest to find the unicorn.
Okay. Alrighty. Um,
All
so
right.
+1 plus agile.
Yep. And then -1 for the not being part of the quest. Right.
Okay.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
All right, an 8.
Okay. All right. Still good. So I'm gonna say that they have all, in their own way, they're not waiting. They're all gonna try to run you through and avoid each other. But I mean, like, maybe as you're, well, you tell me. Like, tell me how you're evading danger. They're coming at you from all sides, out of the fog.
Oh, I think there's a I actually charge deeper into where it's very wooded so that now the trees are in our way, and the camera's just kind of like weaving in between, and just see like people attacking from bursts of fog and leaves for its Elio blocking and dodging. Yeah.
Brilliant. Love it. Okay. Uh, yeah, so the misfortune at the moment is that you are succeeding at getting away from them, and giving them something to chase. Um, and I think the misfortune is that the horse is waiting for you to get to him. I can't. I mean, he's already made his move. Like he just wants to see, like, if you will be worthy of riding
Right.
him by getting to him.
Condition not magical enough.
Yep. So, that is your misfortune. This horse is an ass, but he'll do what he says. He will do what he says he can do. So you just have to get back on his back. So,
I'm gonna try to work my way towards their leader
oh,
and see if I can do like a battle move. I don't know if that would apply.
ooh. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Gauge power speed. Yeah, I mean, choose a virtue appropriate for your approach to the conflict. So, I mean, like straight off the bat, it could be vigor. I don't know if you're trying to do it a different way. Power, speed, intelligence, or social acumen. And I'm gonna say that he's like, like power 3, or level 3, I should say, because I mean he's kind of like along the same lines as the Green Knight. This is his turf, or near his turf.
All right.
Although, if you want to argue me on that, like, Ydelles, it's like, I can have you feel something when I come back to you. So just think about that for half a mo. Um, but anyway, yeah, like level 3, and what virtue besides possibly vigor, like, could work out for you.
Ooh. Um,
Now remember,
mhm.
if you want to avoid the misfortune that you'd get anyway because you're battling somebody outside your social class, you could conceivably level up the quick way. You just wouldn't get the benefit of being able to pick one of those things, you know? Um, so I don't know what you want to do about that. I mean, do you want to be on equal footing somehow? Or do you want to just leave it alone and then uh, depend on your role?
All right.
What do you
So I
think?
could, in order to avoid the misfortune of finding someone outside my class, I
You
have to
have
do
you have to do the you have to be
Mark
equal.
destiny.
Yeah, you have to mark
right.
destiny to be able to raise that point, to level up without getting the benefit of the level up. But you would be a level up. You'd be their equal.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I will definitely do that.
Okay.
Oops,
So
where's that?
if that's what you're doing to become an equal level to
Yeah,
him.
it's a
You'd
spinning.
roll. Yeah. You would
Yeah,
roll
we're
the virtue. How are you? How are you bringing him down, or I should say, how are you raising yourself up in this circumstance to be his equal? It'll depend on the which virtue you're using.
right. No, it's just I think it's just gonna be vigor,
Okay.
pure force, and
Mm,
pure passion and determination uh,
okay.
to attack.
Okay.
Um, Let me just look real quick at the battle move. Literally,
It's under miscellaneous moves, and if your
right.
opponent is an equal level NPC, roll plus virtue. On a success, you prove their match, and then you would choose one of those choices.
Mm, Let's go for it. Oh man, I'm gonna be at 0 again. Is there anything I can do?
Let's see.
You can only use the dilemma once, right? Once
Yeah,
per.
once it's marked, it's like you can only use it once. Trying to think if there was anything else that you can use to gain. I don't think so, unfortunately.
All right. If I roll really badly, I'll use Destiny.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Hold on one freaking second. At any time,
All right.
you can mark a box of destiny to do one of the following. So, I mean, like, yeah, just hold that in reserve. So let's see how you do.
All
You
right.
know, maybe it's good. Maybe it's awesome.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, get misfortune. Or you can spend a point of destiny to just avoid the misfortune.
Um, on a success, merge going, reduce total but costly bonus sleep. I'm not gonna avoid the misfortune. Um, and I'm gonna pick. What happens if you battle to the? If I battle to a draw, does that mean we roll again, or?
No, that means it's like, they're at a standstill. You battle to a draw but remain undaunted. So, I mean, they could try to press their advantage, but it's not going to do much good because you are their equal, you know. And then you would take +1 forward. Although, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to continue to and not battle, but you would like really get into the melee, and then you would apply force or defend from harm, whatever, then you would take +1 forward on whatever your next roll is towards this.
Um, yeah, no. We'll go with the first one. Uh, Victories total but costly. Opponent is slain, disgraced, converted, disenfranchised, etc., or dealt with in another lasting manner. Never to trouble you again. Mark 1 destiny.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and mark with that destiny. Um, tell me how. Tell me how they are dispatched.
Oh, okay. I think his sword is actually, oh gosh, what would it be? It's a wooden sword, but like the end of it is like a rattlesnake rattle. So like when he wields it, his hand shakes, um, it won't, it rattles menacingly. And I just think I'm just throwing myself full tilt against him, and like he's like cutting me, and I'm just like taking it and not even parrying it. Like, and I think it finally ends where I kind of let him stab me so that he's immobile, and I just bring it down, uh, crashing, crashing on his neck to cleave him in twain, and he just like burst into leaves and broken twigs and everything.
Nice. And I think in this pile of twigs and leaves, I think there is the remains of his mask. And all the rest of them just back away. they keep their swords. They give you a tiny bow, and then they slowly, like, step backwards into the fog and then disappear. And then the pile of leaves and twigs starts to stir, as if starting to be blown away. And then they literally get blown away by a wind.
I kind of like the idea of like we see Elio just like charge through the swirling mass, like not even looking back because now it's over, and I have better things to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, the horse is still waiting there. Get further along. And like you hear the voice in your head as the horse, as the Gringolet, like, bows its massive head towards you and just says, "Well, you have proved your worth. Join me." And then, like, kind of indicates its head to ride up, to mount up.
Yeah, I just leap onto it.
Nice. And the parrot will finally come down off of its perch somewhere and like and then say, and like, nibble your ear and go. It's like, what? Okay.
And we gallop.
Yep. No problem. Awesome. All right. Back at the manor house. Granite?
Sure is.
Yeah. Ydelles, what are you doing?
Waiting graciously for the liege lord of these lands to make an appearance.
So Ydelles is going to go out to do the negotiation with the gnomes.
How do we see this? Are we thinking that because Ydelles is now more supernatural, that he is able to entreat with the gnomes? Maybe not necessarily equal, but I mean, like, is able to at least kind of parlay a little for himself? Or does Granite still need to be the intermediary that brings them out into the open for this negotiation? What do we think?
I think it's a matter of being shown. I think he is, in his current state, able to see them. Obviously does not know their tongue, or what little is like conveyed by ancestral memory
Mm.
is insufficient. But I think there's a good moment to be had with Granite, like picking up some gravel off the ground or a particularly rounded stone and showing you how to see them.
Nice. What does that look like? Like the lesson, as it were.
I'm not sure how it starts exactly, but I have a place for this to go. If you are.
So maybe what it looks like is that Granite has found the rock, the stone, and maybe he speaks into it and then gives the stone to Ydelles. And maybe that sound comes out of it, and during that sound there's like a shimmer or something that begins, almost thinking like like a frequency or something is now been turned on that can
I
now
have a
participate. Go ahead.
different way of framing
Yeah.
that, I think, but I
Go for it.
like the general idea.
How does it look?
Do you know what you are now, Ydelles? Truly, do you know what you represent?
Not completely.
Well, in one way, you are the land. In another, you are reaching down into it by ancient roots that are not your own. These roots may well extend beyond your realm. What I need you to do is look deeper. Descend into them and see what lies where there is no sun. Feel the solidity of the earth. Find a place where your roots bend and look there at the stone. Focus on the sound of my voice. Close your eyes. You will not be needing them. Hold in your mind the image of a great tree. Feel its leaves in the breeze. Feel it breathe as it releases clean, fresh air unto the world. Feel the sun. Feel how the green feeds it. Feel the light of the sun be taken in and down the trunk of the tree. Hold yourself in that middle point. And when you are ready, descend deeper. Feel yourself split and split and split along their surface. Feel each corner of yourself in this land. And then, in your center, you will find a taproot, one line that reaches deeper than all the others. It is gnarled. It contends with forces beyond the rest. At its very bottom is the spring, which flows forward into the castle. Trace yourself backwards from these 2 points, and somewhere beneath the earth, you will find that you cannot continue. That place is a stone. When you are there, open your eyes. Your adversary, no, your partner in this negotiation will be there to meet you. Tell me what he says. And when you open your eyes, you can see them. Sure, why not?
What do they look like to you, Ydelles, in this place?
The gnomes?
Mm.
I think they look like crude gemstones with many eyes. So not like in a humanoid form necessarily, but something more like, I'm kind of thinking a little bit like one of the illustrations of an angel,
Mm.
but instead of wings, it's got these sort of facet eyes, so they don't look like human eyes, but closer to insect, because how they capture the light, different angles, and the jagged features on them, might look like limbs, but they're just like pieces of them that connect to the earth.
Do you think, Granite, that when Ydelles is here in this place, he has a fundamental understanding, or he is able to communicate with the gnomes? And are these the gnomes
Define.
you know, or are these the gnomes of the manor and this land?
No, these are foreign gnomes,
Okay.
or perhaps gnomes that have been waiting patiently to return. Gnomes that were once driven out. I, understanding is a strong word. I think I'm here mostly as a support player. Like you don't need to go through me
Mm.
as much to convey what you want to convey, but I want to be here when you broker the deal. I know how I I know that even though they cannot lie, gnomes do like to bend the truth, and I know all of their tricks, for I have suffered each of them in turn.
Now, are you here in your way since you can pass through stone?
Oh no, that would be rude.
Ah, okay.
I am asking Ydelles, Lord of Autumn, to like convey to me through his body what is going on.
Interesting.
I think what we see is, since Ydell's no longer wearing his armor, he's wearing like the equivalent of um, like a coat, like like old medieval coat type thing or whatever. And I think he takes his hands and he opens it, revealing his mossy chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we see is we see like an animation, like an illustrated animation conveying what is happening, like moving around. So there might be symbols or shapes moving around in there. There's probably like little creatures in there too, like little bugs and things now. We're getting all natural.
Oh my God! Oh God, this is so beautiful. Holy crap! Oh, I. You know what? I got nothing because I mean, like, you're communicating in such a way that is just so organic that they'll reach out to you and with voices perhaps not of, again, um, humanoid sounds. Maybe there's the hum of what makes up the gems, like moving within them. Maybe there's the 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 singing of the earth. Maybe there's the grumble of as you're reaching your tendrils in and trying to, again, like reach out and have some point of contact with this other world and other peoples. I think, yeah, I mean, you tell Granite what you think is what you think they're saying, and I'm going to ask you to roll insight for this. So you'd
All right.
roll wise.
Yep. Over there. Okay. Let's do this. Reloading a dice roller. Okay. Here we go. I got a 7.
Okay. All right. So you would ask me a question. You get misfortune.
Mm-hmm.
See how this goes.
Let's see here. Is there a specific set of questions or just
It just
anything?
says if the MC cannot provide a helpful, honest answer because there's not enough relevant information to you, MC may prompt you to ask a different question instead. But on a success, which you did, MC must answer honestly and helpfully. Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me out of character just make sure we're on the same page with this. So Chris, Sir Granit was helping Ydelles to communicate for the negotiation of the use of these carns. Is that what they are?
I mean, yeah, it's more that like at present there is only one gnome in your land,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going completely insane. He's deeply broken, and we need to get more guys in here.
Oh, so you just want to increase the population of gnome?
Yes.
Oh.
I could.
Ooh, you cut out.
What's that, Chris?
Oh no.
Did the gnome get you? Blink
Work they're
once
doing.
for yes. What was that?
Huh?
You
Suffice
cut
to
out.
say, the more gnomes there are, the
Mhm.
better, because they're all then like doing less work, making everything solid.
Ah.
Okay. So we're basically negotiating with this gnome to say, can we bring in more to your territory? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think the question to the gnome would be, would you like to share your space? Or actually, part of me wants to go like out of character. Do you want me to do in or out of character? Does it matter, Mads?
It does not matter. You whatever you
Okay.
feel better.
How
doing.
can I convince this gnome to say yes to bring in other gnomes?
See, I would almost say that it's like the opposite. Like you're trying to pretend like you don't want this. Like obviously this is good for the gnomes because they're getting more stuff. And you're trying to like deceive them into getting something out of it, you know?
Oh, wait. So let's just clarify. So
Okay. This
Ydelles
can also
is
just not be true
no,
if
no, no,
it's too
no. I
far.
mean, like we just want to We just want to make sure we're on the same page. What I hear is that like Ydelles is talking with the gnomes that you know to make sure that they're gonna be able to come in. That they're gonna do this to not populate. What's the word? Join their missing their long lost companion who has been stuck on these lands for God knows how long. Is that what I'm given to understand?
Huh? Sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
So,
I heard the end and I heard the beginning,
of
and the
course.
middle was
So, Ydelles right now is talking with the gnomes that you know.
yes.
Okay, so not the gnome, not the sole
Not
lonely
the one guy.
crazy
No.
gnome that is on your lands, Adele. Okay, so you're talking to the gnomes that Granite knows to try to convince them
Gnomes
to come
in
in.
general.
Yeah, to come in, to come in and help their pal, who has been long lost for however long it's been. So, yeah. These are the assholes who are like asking for
Yeah,
the
your
weight
weight,
of the
my
wolves.
yeah, 3 wolves
Yeah.
in gold or
Yeah,
whatever.
3 wolves in weight, whatever the hell that means to them.
So I'm definitely going to need Sir Granit to interpret into um, the criminal speak that the gnomes like that sort of like want something out of this
Oh
because
yeah.
that's not Adele's way. He's a pretty straightforward guy. Um, so he's basically going to say something in fact like they probably want like they want to know what's in it for
Mm-hmm.
them. Is that it?
Yes.
So like
Exactly.
some sort of like bribe or treasure promise, right? Might work.
Yes.
That makes sense, Chris.
Yeah. Tell them about the spring.
Yep.
Tell them about the plants, whatever it is.
Tell them about. Oh, there's probably like a room of rare earth elements in the land in the manor.
Yep. Yep. And I'm gonna give you the option, Chris, to name what you think that misfortune is for yeah, for these negotiations for Adele.
Hmm.
Is there
Hmm.
something that is there some kind of like loophole that they
I'm
found?
I don't have I haven't I don't have a plan for them to be quite that tricksy. I have in fact no plan at all. I was hoping to play to find out on this. But I feel like something they could do is seal off the spring or like turn palace to stone.
Ooh. Ooh. It's like if they're kind of like, a bit, not tricksy, but just kind of like um, well, we want weight, and
This is what we are owed. This is like
yeah,
we have rare earth metals. We are rare earth metals. Look upon our multifaceted face and tell us we want for splendor.
true. Yeah. I yeah. So, I mean, it's not without a bounds for them to claim like, one of what they consider a piece of you,
Mm-hmm.
which Palace could be easily an extension of since she is part of your land. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
Or a bunch of trees. Who knows?
who knows?
Lots of things could turn to
Palace
stone.
is more
Yeah,
tragic.
Palace is definitely more tragic. I will allow it just because I mean again they're it's magical and it's also like, fantasy bullshit. So it's like if you think that that's the price that they ask, then I think that seems fitting and you'll feel it. You'll feel it as they
Yep.
ask. If you agree. If you agree to the terms of
Yeah.
them doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I, th- I, th- I think so.
Okay. So yeah. As these negotiations are going on, I mean, like, yeah, Sir Elio, you're riding hard towards. I think you're picturing it in your head, and because the steed, the Gringolet, has communicated with you telepathically. I think it's actually picking up the thoughts that you're seeing in your head, and you actually hear it grumble. I've seen them. They are here. You wish to go to them, yes?
I wish to go to the unicorn.
Yes, they are. They are one, but they are also many. They believe themselves to be all. I can take you there, but it is far, near the edge of the lands. You know of the battle, yes?
Against the stag?
You hear a snort, like as if being amused. Yes. The great battle that they always have. Every year. One wins one year. Another wins the other year. It is a point, another laughing snort, of pride.
Why do they contest?
The horns. The horns. And the parrot on your shoulder will is kind of like ducking down in their wings, and like kind of like going against the wind, and like the wake, and like kind of squawks next to you and nibbles your ear and says, "Ah, the horns! What?" And yep,
Do they fight to the death?
near death. And they will complete the ritual when the moon is full. The moon is full tonight. One will walk away, and the other will rise and travel all the way back from the land of the dead to return for the contest next year.
I must see the unicorn before then.
We can get there, but I can't say if the unicorn will want to see us.
Let me worry about that.
As you wish. And you speed through, and it's very dizzying. It's like, if we did like a quick like camera pan of what you're passing by, I mean, it goes by in a blink. And again, the parrot is huddled onto your shoulder, like trying to hold on for dear life. And I think as you make the approach to the edge of Ydelles lands, I think you will see the fog break. You will see the more clearings in the forest as like the forest opens up, and it's almost like you are viewing possibly where the spring had originated from, because you smell this clear fresh water. You see sparkles of sunlight on this place. It's like a grove of sorts with just lushness everywhere, just plants and things that are alive. You feel how alive it is here. And across the way, across this grand river and flowing waterfall, I think you see a very familiar shape with a single horn on its head, grazing on the other side. And the Gringolet will stop.
I leap off before it stops.
Interesting. Do I make you do a thing here?
Yeah, you hear me cry, and you said it's across. You hear it's across the river. A river. You said?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It hasn't noticed you all yet. I mean, it's across the river. The river's like, not roaring past, but again, the waterfall's there. And then so it's like, just like a lot of natural sounds. And again, hasn't noticed you because it's quite verdant here. What do you do?
Um, is there any ready way across the river that I can see?
Mm-mm.
All right. So yeah, I drop off anything that might encumber me, and I dive into the water.
And I think like above you, the parrot has fluttered off of your shoulder and is flying, and you hear it squawk. I It's just looking down at you. If a bird can have an incredulous look on its face, that's what it has, and it's just going like you hear like intermittent squawks of like, ah, stupid, and yeah, you're. It is deep. It is not. It is not something you can just wade across. I think you'll find quite quickly that you are not touching any um, riverbed. Uh, Let me see. Do you want to do an evade danger or make haste? Or act
Um,
heroically? I don't know. I mean, because I feel like a bunch
ooh,
of different things like fall into play here. Um,
um,
because here's the worry. Here's the worry. If you
right.
roll badly, the unicorn will see you approach and run away.
Oh, so I will evade danger.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm.
And I think now that I know that it's going to be fighting the heart, I think that in this case, the quest does apply in my favor.
Okay. Roll agile, please, with your plus.
A 9. Am I rolling just to see that I get to it?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. 9. Okay. All right. You would choose one of the following, and I will give you the misfortune in a minute.
Um, is the danger the river, or is it
The danger is definitely the river. Um, you cannot touch any riverbed. It's going a little bit faster than you assumed, and there's a chance of you being swept away.
so? I mean, if I say maneuver to safe position, can I say the safe position is the other side of the river?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right.
But I'm going to say that your maneuvering of safe position is that it carries you a little bit further down than expected. So you're
Right.
going to have to hoof it a little bit back to
Okay.
where it was, because like you have to reach, like, you know, you're able to catch on to like the riverbank, which has a like a big hillock, and then you have to make it across that, blah, 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 and like make it back to the unicorn where it is in that part of the grove. And now I'm going to flip back over to the other
Okay.
two. Yeah. Okay, so you two are communicating with the gnomes, and I think as you are making this deal to see about getting the gnomes to come in and help their lost comrade, I think maybe this is where Palace will come in, you know, to see to your needs, Ydelles. And, you know, as she is making her way, like Granit is watching the pictures on your mossy chest. You have bared your chest so you can communicate. You're wired in with your branches and all this kind of stuff. And as she approaches and you're making a deal in the deep dark, or the deep whatever, the deep within, I think she's approaching, and then you see her reach out to you, and her hand starts to become like shiny. I don't know what the stone is. It's like it's kind of like a shiny slate, and like, you know, you see the transformation of her like becoming still in the position, and yeah, you see that she is turned to this um, material by your
I
very
think
eyes.
I think Ydelles says quietly, but definitely meant for Sir Granit. Everything has a cost.
Perhaps you are more of a lord than I thought. It is done then.
Yes.
What is the last image that Granite sees on Ydelles' mossy animation?
I can only imagine like sort of okay. So we follow the camera up through the earth to Palace, and then sort of watch her face contort as in a sort of slow zoom. I'm making a lot of hand gestures that you cannot see. But yeah, we see her almost scream in her last moments. And I think that the last thing sort of projected across the chest is that face of agony, like a temple Medusa.
And that is forever frozen in the great hall of your throne, your great hall. And what happens once the deal is done and they have taken their payment? Do you feel anything different about the manor?
I think,
Either of you.
yeah, I actually want to hear Chris go first.
I would imagine to see. I can only imagine what your answer would be. Granted, this isn't. He's not part of this. I mean, he's part of this, but he's not. attuned to it like you are. For him, I think it just grows like louder. It's like watching people filter in to a to a great to a mead hall, I suppose. Like you all of a sudden it's empty, and then one person trickles in and you can sort of catch them out of the corner of your eye, and then slowly over the course of, well, who knows, time really isn't a player in this particular game. But before your reckoning catches up, there is something in every wall, around every corner, someone in every seat. Feels much more homely, except that they're all nervous, they're all quiet, they're all not quite sure what to expect.
Do you reach out and touch a stone?
No.
Okay.
Try not to spook him like a horse.
And what do you feel, Ydelles?
I think Ydelles, being the host and having, Granit as a minister, as it were, would offer them refreshment as a sign of trust and new beginnings here, and invite them to mingle with the old stone who was here.
I think the old stone it's like a shifting. It's like how a house settles. I think even though it's stone, it has its own way of creaking. It has its own way of finding its level. And it's almost a visible movement, as it's like the house has done some sort of shuddering double take. Like, who are these people, or what is going on? And I think Granit, in your own way, you might be hearing commiserations, surprise, and then possible greetings, tentative greetings to each other, as if they are unsure, but they are starting to reach out and then get to know what has been here for a very long time. And the house is opening up to those that maybe have not seen anything like them for a very long time. And Ydelles, I think at this point, this is where you feel the shudders of something, of a battle further than the manor's immediate lands, but not as close, not as farthest out as the edge. And you feel the shuddering beat of the changes to Elio's steed. You feel the battle that has taken place on your skin of the land. And then you feel the rush of this particular steed carry over to near the edge, near the very, very edge of a place where you know that the spring has originated. And that takes us over to Elio, who, once you reach that top of the hillock, You still see the unicorn there in its splendor. But what does it look like to you? The sun is shining. Everything sparkles. It's very verdant. Again, it's grazing. But what does it look like to you as you're beholding it, Elio?
I think yeah, so I think I'm all, you see water dripping off me from the river, and um I drop my sword, I drop any weapons I'm carrying. Um I remove my shirt, so that it's not just Ydelles being bare chested this episode. Um and yeah, you kind of see him like climbing. I see like kind of the camera from behind him as he climbs up the hill, and it's you almost just like see his silhouette because the backlit of the light from the unicorn as he crosses the hill and walks up to it. And you don't see from that vantage Elio's face, but you just see his body from his body language. The his reaction to the majesty of it. Um, and he pauses at the top of the hill. Um, and then starts walking ever so slowly towards Unicorn.
And I think at this point, as you make the approach, I think you wake out of your starry-eyed gaze, I guess, to realize that now there's out of nowhere comes lassos that are coming from the different edges of this place that are going over the unicorn's head and taking control. And I think you see coming out of these hidden places are people with the lassos. And you recognize a particular crest, very familiar to you. A crest of Lord Vortimir before someone comes up and hits you from behind and all goes black. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight. Yay! End of session.
Boo!
We
Boo.
did it. I'll never forgive you.
Glorious.
I know. End of session. Okay, so if you have... I'm sorry, but not sorry. What do you want me to say, guys?
It's
Right,
really
nah.
good. Look, it was really good. You did
It
a great
was.
job. I'll never forgive you.
I know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the storyteller in me understands. Yeah. Yeah.
But your characters hate my guts. I get it. Okay, all right. So for reals, end of session. All right, mark XP as follows: if you have battled, mark 1 XP. If you have endured heartbreak, mark 1 XP. If you had any harmed virtues, which you didn't, you would unmark them. If you had any dilemmas, go ahead and you check them off, then go ahead, unmark them. Update bonds as necessary if you think anything has changed, or, and rewrite your dilemmas as desired. So you can take this time to figure out, like, how things have adjusted for your character and then see about, like, rewriting dilemmas for next time, okay? Just making sure. And then, again, yeah, I think we only had the one failure, so you already took the point for that, and then you leveled up. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just looking at this XP. God dang. I'm so sorry, Ydelles. Oh my gosh. But how exalted is that? You know, you haven't earned any XP, but yet
I got one.
you're
I
the
earned.
Autumn Knight,
Just
man.
one.
You're the Lord of a
I
manor.
know.
You marked a destiny, got a barony out of it.
Holy shit. I mean, it's amazing. And
You have not
like-
experienced anything. Honestly, this is what Sir Granit has been trying to tell you this whole time.
oh my god.
I will never be an official knight ever. That's my curse.
It's so horrible. Oh my gosh. It's terrible.
It's fine.
And then yeah. Okay.
They don't have dental, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for end of session. So again, just stars and wishes for next time, which
All
is
right.
not next week, but the week after, October 7th, and I'll put that in the chat later.
Stars to Mads for being amazing. The first time you started speaking as what was the name of the horse thing?
Gringalay.
Gringalay.
That
That's
was
the name of the move.
freaking me out.
Yeah,
Freaking
not
me
a very horsey voice, but I
No,
love
I
it
was.
as a choice.
I loved it. I had to adjust to it because it was freaking me out, but it was good. And that's fine. Yeah, thank you for bringing all the greatness here. And for Rod for finally going after the unicorn. Like, I was like, we're not helping him. We're not helping. He's out there all on his own. But he's a knight. He can handle it. And it just sounds so cool. And then it gets taken away by my nemesis. That's just so mean. And then Chris, that was an amazing descriptive scene. I didn't even know like anyone had that in them. So that was just really powerful visual scene of going down and connecting with these gnomes and everything. It's really, really nice. Thank you for bringing that tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, as for wishes, like play to find out. I'm boring, but this has been really great.
Great. Yeah. Stars to Rod for making the excellent executive decision to introduce a horse. I love it. And everything. I love it. It and everything that happened afterwards. Truly, you were over here having an Arthurian adventure. Ydelles and Geddrick were having an LSD trip.
And during doing
spectacular.
bureaucracy and labor negotiations and
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thoroughly unknightly actions taking place.
But just the tension and just the emotional
I know.
Continue.
Stars to Mads, as always, for rolling with the punches as powerfully as you do. Specifically stars again for the way you portrayed the Gringalay as this like heraldic beast. Like clearly it believes itself to be a metaphor. Like it knows what the fuck is up in a way that other things so far just haven't, and I am kind of obsessed. And stars obviously to David for not only coming and playing with me in my weird gnome space, but also the image of your chest hair being moss now. Perfect. No notes. Then using that as a like abstract view screen. Inspired. And wishes. So help me God, I am going to haul this man away from this land.
You in what gnome army?
He's gonna
the
owe him
gnome,
big. He's gonna owe
the
him.
gnome, the gnomes were step one.
Oh man.
I know. I invited trouble into the realm,
Oh
and
shit.
it was glorious.
Oh no. Oh no, the trouble is going to be that eventually I'm going to trick you into giving up every responsibility, and it's going to be fine, and you're going to be fine.
I trust my
No.
companions to do what is right because they're actually knights.
I mean, you're a tree. Only men can be knights. Women, trees, not eligible.
Oh noes. Oh noes. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of glad I'd taken off so that Granite and Dells could have their whole relation ship explored this episode. I love the developed the idea of having these having your lands being able to change their boundaries or move with it's very mystical and magical and befitting of the nature of the manor and the manor grounds. So that's very cool. I like the yeah. There's every time every scene with Ydelles and Granite, the whole conversation about Granite Ydelles saying what he saw Granite as the whole teacher student vibe in a way of almost like Granite teaching about being able to see the gnomes and yeah that whole sequence of the roots and finally it stops, the taproot stops at the rock. That was beautiful. Um the the offering of Palace as the cost was amazing. That was a very good choice. Um, so I think you had suggested that, Chris, but that was poignant. Um, the Mads, the whole gray shadow leaves people coming out was awesome. And even though Elio kind of has not questioned that or the relationship to the Gringolet or the Gringolet itself. Um, I, as a player, am very curious about it. So maybe I guess that could count as a wish that I somehow I know a little more about that. Yeah, and then the evil choice was wonderful of knocking me out before I got to the unicorn. That was very appropriate and a great closing for the session. Um, yeah, and then so I guess I don't know. Wish I'm going after this this nemesis of Dell's. I mean, it might be cheating you off your vengeance, but um, and looking forward to the reunion of Elio and the unicorn.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, so I'm gonna try not to repeat anybody's stars, just kind of like looking at it from my lens. I mean, I just find it hysterically funny that Adele was all about Granite and his cunning and Elio with his wisdom, but then Elio on his own was doing some weird, unwise things. So I'm just kind of like, star for right there, because Elio is just so intent upon his unicorn that he is being selfish and just like, no, I'm doing this. I'm like fucking doing this. And then with the fight, I mean, like as quick as it was, I mean, I liked the way that you were helping us visualize it, like, how the pan was, the camera was panning, like, back and forth, and, like, just in and out of trees, and then, like, dodging and parrying and such. And it was just like, it was really cool visual that I could totally see. And a definite star for let me see, the way we saw the relationship between Granit and Ydelles today. I mean, like, before it was just kind of like, oh, it's like, you're not leaving without me, right? I mean, and Granit was kind of tagging along, and it seemed like Elio and Ydelles, like, had more of a relationship, and were more close friends. And then now Granit is just like, no, I mean, like, you're using that dilemma of the debt of guilt to its fullest potential, Chris, and I appreciate that so much. And you want to bring your friend out of this. You want to bring him out of this mess, which I absolutely adore, and it's coming across beautifully. That just listening to, I was like trying not to look at faces or anything in particular, but I was listening to you describe the walkthrough of how to get from where Ydelles was physically into the depths of where the gnomes were, to reach them in a space that they were existing, was absolutely gorgeous. And your voice, like, really conveyed that, of the space. Listen to my voice, like, follow me through this, and then find where they are through me. It was great. I mean, I enjoyed that so much. And then Ydelles' character, just doing all the right things, all the knightly noble things. And ultimately, if you continue on this way, just not going to become a knight, even though he is the most knightly out of all of them. And it just sucks, but it's still tragically beautiful and bursting stars for all of that. So damn. We had a shorter session tonight, but we just got so much done. Amazing. And yeah, that whole thought of, like, how I wanted to cliffhang, I mean, I'm sorry, but props to me for thinking of that, because normally I don't think of stuff, but we had to end on a cliffhanger. So hopefully we resolve all these fun things next time, and if not, then we'll just accept it as a slice of life, and then I'll leave some time at the end for, instead of like end of session, maybe more narrations of epilogues, like where you think that the things have gone. All right. So not next week, but October 7th. And I look forward to seeing, oh gosh, how far you guys get through the next one. Oh my gosh. I don't have any particular wishes, because again, I play to find out too. You guys give me the stuff, and then I run with it. And you've been giving me such beautiful stuff so far. So thank you. Thank you all. So if nothing else, I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy gaming for anything that you do in between now and then. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how these characters go. All right. So thank you guys again, and I will see you for other things or in 2 weeks. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks, Matt.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.